What if the one thing meant to shine the brightest was the most scared of the dark? High, high above the world, far above the rooftops, far above the clouds, far above even the tallest mountains, there is a place where stars are born. A soft, glowing nursery tucked into the velvet folds of the night sky. And in that nursery, among hundreds of bright, bold, blazing stars, there was one tiny star who had a very big problem. Her name was Luna. And tonight, we're going to find out what happened when the littlest star in the sky finally decided to be brave. Are you cozy? Are you snuggled in? Good. Because this story is just for you. Luna was small. Smaller than all the other stars. While her friends glowed bright gold and brilliant white, Luna's light was soft, like a candle flickering in a gentle breeze. And that was okay. She didn't mind being small. But here was the thing about Luna that nobody quite understood. Every single night, when the sky grew dark and it was time for all the stars to come out and shine, Luna hid. She tucked herself behind a big fluffy cloud. She pulled the cloud around her like a blanket. And she squeezed her little star eyes shut as tight as they would go. Because Luna, a star, a creature made entirely of light, was terribly, completely, absolutely afraid of the dark. Now, you might be thinking, but Luna, you are the light. And you would be right. But fear doesn't always make sense, does it? Sometimes we're scared of the very thing we're meant to do. And Luna had been scared for a very long time. Every morning, when the sun came up and chased the darkness away, Luna would peek out from behind her cloud. She would watch the other stars fade into the blue morning sky, tired and happy after a whole night of shining. And Luna would feel something heavy in her chest. Something that felt a little like sadness. A little like longing. And a lot like wishing things were different. One evening, just as the sun was setting and the sky was turning from orange to purple to deep, deep blue, Luna heard a sound. It was a small sound. Quiet. Almost too quiet to notice. It was crying. Luna peeked out from behind her cloud. Down below, far, far below on the dark earth, she could see a tiny light in a window. And she could just barely make out a little shape. A child. Sitting on a windowsill, knees pulled up to their chest, looking up at the sky. Looking for stars. Luna watched. The child's name was Milo, and Milo was having a very hard night. He'd had a bad dream the night before, and now the dark felt too big and too heavy and too full of things he couldn't see. He had pressed his nose against the cold glass of his window and whispered up at the sky, "Please, can someone turn on the lights?" Luna felt that heavy thing in her chest again. But this time, it felt different. This time, it didn't feel like sadness. It felt like something waking up. She looked around at the other stars. They were busy, scattered across the far reaches of the sky, lighting up distant corners of the world. Nobody was close enough to shine on Milo's window. Nobody except Luna. She swallowed hard. The dark stretched out in every direction. Vast. Endless. Quiet in a way that made her tremble. "I can't," she whispered to herself. "I'm too scared. I'm too small. My light isn't even bright enough to matter." But then she looked back down at Milo. His little face was still pressed against the glass. Still waiting. Still hoping. And Luna thought about what it felt like to wait for a light that never came. She took a breath. Stars can do that, you know, when they really need to, and she stepped out from behind her cloud. Just one step. The dark rushed in around her, cold and wide and enormous. Luna's light flickered. Her tiny glow trembled at the edges. Every part of her wanted to run back to the cloud, back to the safe and the familiar and the hidden. But she didn't. She took another step. And another. And something extraordinary happened. As Luna moved through the dark, trembling, flickering, scared, her light began to grow. Not because the dark went away. Not because she stopped being afraid. But because she kept going anyway. Because bravery isn't the absence of fear. Bravery is taking one more step even when your light is shaking. She floated down through the sky, closer and closer to Milo's window. And as she drew near, her soft golden glow fell across the glass, across the windowsill, across Milo's small upturned face. Milo blinked. He sat up straighter. His eyes went wide. "Oh," he breathed. Just that. Just, oh. Because sometimes one small light is exactly enough. Luna hovered there, glowing as steadily as she could, watching Milo's face change. The tight, scared look around his eyes softened. His shoulders dropped. He uncurled from his tight little ball and leaned back against the window frame, looking up at her with something that looked very much like relief. "Thank you," Milo whispered. He didn't know who he was talking to. He just felt it, that warm, certain feeling that someone was there. That the dark wasn't empty after all. And Luna, small, trembling, brave little Luna, glowed brighter than she ever had before. Up in the sky, the other stars noticed. One by one, they turned to look. And what they saw made them smile, because there was Luna, their littlest star, shining right in the middle of the dark she had always feared. Not hiding. Not running. Just shining. The oldest star in the sky, a great silver star named Orion who had been watching over the world for 1,000 years, drifted close to Luna. His voice was deep and warm, like the sound of wind through tall trees. "You know," he said gently, "I have watched every star in this sky find their light. But I have never seen one shine quite like you do tonight." Luna looked at him. "But I was so scared," she said. "I'm still scared." Orion smiled, a slow, ancient, knowing smile. "Yes," he said. "That's exactly why it's so bright." That night, Luna didn't hide behind her cloud. She stayed right where she was, outside Milo's window, and she shone all night long. She watched him climb back into bed. She watched him pull his blanket up to his chin. She watched his eyes grow heavy and heavier, and then close altogether as sleep came softly to take him somewhere warm and safe and full of good dreams. And as Milo slept, Luna looked out at the dark sky around her. The same dark that had always frightened her. The same endless, quiet, enormous dark. But it looked different now. Because now she could see what the dark really was. It wasn't something to be afraid of. It was something to shine into. The dark was just a sky full of places that needed a little light. And she, small, soft glowing, trembling little Luna, had exactly the right kind. From that night on, Luna never hid behind her cloud again. Oh, she still felt nervous sometimes. She still trembled a little at the edges when the dark felt very big. But she had learned something important, something she carried with her like a warm coal in the center of her glow. You don't have to be the biggest light. You don't have to be the brightest. You just have to be willing to shine. And somewhere down below, in a small house on a quiet street, a little boy named Milo slept peacefully through the whole night. And in the morning, when he woke up and looked out his window at the pale blue sky, he smiled. He didn't know why, exactly. He just felt it, that warm, certain, unshakable feeling that somewhere out there, someone was watching over him. He was right. And now, little one, it's time for you to close your eyes too. The stars are out tonight. All of them. Even the small ones. Especially the small ones. And one of them, the tiniest, softest, bravest one of all, is shining just for you. Good night. Sleep tight. And remember, even the smallest light can push back the dark.